Welcome to the C-Suite podcast that we are recording at Shoptalk here at the Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas. My name is Russell Goldsmith, and together with Graham Barrett, we'll be interviewing a number of the speakers and attendees here at the event.
We're producing this episode in partnership with Bread Financial, a tech-forward financial services company providing simple, personalised payment lending and saving solutions. Really hope you enjoy the show. I'm here with Kevin Miller. He is the CMO of the Fresh Market. Kevin, it's great to see you.
Hey, Graham, great to be here today.
How's it going? Tell us about the Fresh Market to start with.
Fresh Market.
Yeah.
The first thing you should know about the Fresh Market is that we have been voted by the American consumers as the #1 best supermarket in America 3 years in a row.
Look at that.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
It's a worst to first story.
Yeah.
Because in 2019, according to Glassdoor, we were the worst company in America to work for.
What a turnaround.
So we've gone from the worst to the first.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we're a specialty grocer. We operate mainly east of the Mississippi.
Okay.
170 stores, 22 states, and it's all about fresh food with us. And we're really focused in on 3 key occasions.
Okay.
Special occasions, like the holidays and Valentine's Day and birthdays. Fresh food. We're not trying to be the stock-up store. And also, meal occasions. What's for dinner? That thing that you had to solve every day around 3 or 4 o'clock all around the world.
Yep.
That's the occasion that we really focus on.
Okay, well that covers a lot of occasions.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
All good. What brings you to Shoptalk?
Oh, this is a great place to find out what's going on in the world of retail.
Okay.
There's literally 10,000 people here, all different walks of life, investors and new retailers, startup, tech companies. It's just a place to be if you want to keep up and with what's going on out there in the real world.
That's it.
You can't do everything within the 4 walls of your office. You got to get out there, Greg.
Yeah. Talk to me about live streaming, because that's a big part of the marketing mix, isn't it, at the Fresh Market?
Yes. Live streaming. We started 2 or 3 years ago. After the pandemic or during the pandemic, our e-com sales went way up. And then around 2021, they started flattening out.
Yeah.
We did some studying, and we found out that the really heavy e-com users tend to be the younger customers, the Gen Zs and the millennials. Our customer base, because we're especially kind of high-end, was a little bit older. So we're like, okay, well, if we're going to get the e-com business up, we have to focus on the younger super users. As we did our research, we stumbled upon this technology called live streaming that involved both shoppable video and live stream shopping events. And we tested it. Our customers loved it, not just the Gen Zs and the baby boomers. The Gen Zs, but all the way to the baby boomers.
Yeah.
And so we saw an enormous amount of engagement.
Wow.
It was a very immersive platform. We saw it was driving new customers to our e-com, and it was causing our customers to come more often. So we kind of leaned into it in 2022.
Wow, so that's what's really driving the business then at the moment.
Yeah, we're having a lot of growth in that, and it continues to build. So as far as time watched, in terms of view-throughs, and when we aggregate everything together in the last 2 years, we've achieved over 130 million views of our live streams. Our customers, 12 million of our customers have viewed these live streams.
Yeah.
And if you aggregate the total time spent, over 1,000 days our customers have spent watching our ads.
That's crazy.
Watching our ads, and the conversion rates are through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Not just online, but also in store.
Yeah, brilliant.
And so we saw that and we were like, okay, well, maybe there's an opportunity for a retail media network so that our vendor partners could also benefit from such an immersive platform with very high conversion rates.
Yeah. What about other platforms? Which other platforms are important to you?
Oh, for us, social is very important. Obviously, digital is very important. Paid. Search is extremely effective for us, local search.
And how are those platforms changing then, or how is the way that you use them changing?
Yeah, so it's a mix. It's more of a unified effort. We produce a monthly magazine that is a digital platform magazine where we talk about everything that we're going to promote that month. So it's the new deals, the new products, the specials, the vendor-supported deals, holidays, and then we repurpose that content across all the digital platforms. So it'll show up in emails, loyalty offers, it'll show up in-store signage. It'll show up everywhere that the customers touches our brand. Over 2 billion impressions a year, but all messaging and quality of messaging is very consistent.
Yeah. So across all of these digital points, I mean, I guess this is all about the customer experience, isn't
Yes.
it? So you're the CMO, you
Yes.
obviously spent a lot of time crafting that experience.
Yes.
How'd you do this?
Well, what's really important is when we were the worst, we did a lot of research to find out what's going on with the brand, who are our customers, what do they like.
Yeah.
And so we found that the experience of shopping at the Fresh Market is just as important as the products and the service that we offer.
There you go.
In fact, it's a little bit more important because, most retailers have the same products on their shelves.
Yeah.
And you expect a certain level of service, customer service, when you walk in the store. What we provide is an experience that is defined by the joy of shopping. We want you to anticipate coming to the Fresh Market the way you would anticipate going to Disney World.
Yeah.
So when you walk in, there's beautiful flowers that greet you at the door. We have coffee, the aroma of coffee going throughout the store. The lighting is low, not a bunch of fluorescent lighting. You can see across the store, the shelves are lower level, and it's an experience of joy, trust, discovery, and our employees are very friendly.
Yeah.
They use their name, and they walk you to the shelves. In fact, we did some research that when our customers come in the store and someone says hello or greets them, then their check average goes up $4 on that visit.
Is that true?
And if you walk them to the shelves, it goes up another $5. So
Yeah.
experience is so important to the Fresh Market.
Yeah.
And so then the challenge was, how do we create this signature branded Fresh Market experience in the digital world?
Yeah.
And with all the things that we experimented, the answer was live streaming shoppable video.
It all comes back to live streaming. Yeah.
It's so important because I would almost argue, and so that our digital live stream experience may be even better
Yeah.
than our in-store experience, because with the live streaming, you have literally thousands of customers
Yeah.
watching the live stream shows simultaneously and endorsing the product, endorsing the brands, endorsing the Fresh Market,
Yeah.
and they're doing it together. So it's a group shopping experience,
Yeah.
and it's the best word of mouth possible.
Absolutely.
And then they're able to get a demonstration from a professional chef that you're not just learning what the product is, but they're showing you how to cook it, prepare it, and make it really special.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to get on that live stream
That's
tonight
it.
for my dinner. So.
And then you can just click. So I call it the immersion conversion. So, it's such an immersive experience. So if you get the customer to, if they're coming to your website, it's because they're very interested in what you have to offer as a brand.
So, yeah. Well, talking about immersive experiences, we're here at Shoptalk. So I just want to say, Kevin Miller, thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your time here.
It was absolutely my pleasure. And don't forget to shop at the Fresh Market.
So I'm now joined by Jennifer DiPasquale, the president and co-founder of Women in Retail. Jen, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Excellent. Now, should we start by you just giving us an overview of Women in Retail and also kind of what you're trying to achieve with the whole program?
Sure, happy to do. I'm the president and co-founder of Women in Retail, as you mentioned, and we are an organization that caters to executive level women at all the major leading retailers and brands. The mission of Women in Retail is really to champion women, amplify women, whether it be in their own companies, in their organizations, if they're looking to make a move. We offer a whole suite of leadership development services for them, as well as a network of executive level women to connect with along the way.
How many members do you have?
So we have close to 1,000 now.
Excellent. And is that in all sizes of businesses? Or
all sizes of business. Our focus has really been upper mid-market to enterprise, but we're always looking for that next level, that retailer that's going to reach the next level. So we do have some SMBs that we then love to connect with our enterprise women and make those connections and partnerships.
Okay, and let's just dig a little deeper into some of those kind of overview membership benefits that you talked about there.
Sure.
Can you kind of give some more information on what people can expect when they join?
Yeah, the benefits. So events are really the lifeblood of what we do and how we built the community. We have a national summit that takes place every April. Next month we'll be at the Ritz-Carlton on Amelia Island.
Very nice.
Snow schlub, yeah, I know. So we take very good care of our attendees, but the content is really a beautiful blend of kind of retail strategy and executive leadership development.
Okay.
So while we have our national event, and then we'll have events kind of populated throughout the rest of the year in various cities, locations. Some days, some are half days, some are full days, some are just meetups for drinks or dinner, connecting our community. We also have peer groups by job function and title. We have a ton of research and content and training and development for that layer of director level and higher. So kind of a whole suite, again, of leadership development across the year.
Great, and you've got a relationship with Shoptalk. You've been a partner for a few years, is that right?
Yes. So we have a Women in Retail Pavilion that happens here at Shoptalk. We've done this for a couple of years now, and it's been wildly successful on both ends. So while Shoptalk is doing their talks on stage and they're talking about retail strategy and the development of tech and the future of retail, we're having discussions with executive level women in our pavilion about leadership, and that could be a discussion on culture. It could be leading your team through crisis. It could be a discussion on negotiation strategies and kind of everything under the umbrella of leadership.
I bet that works really well, actually, because obviously all the talks are going on kind of upstairs. That's a nice way of getting people into the expo.
Exactly.
Because we were just saying, this place is so huge, you can spend a whole 2 days here, and it's hard to get across the whole place.
And people seek us out. It's just been a great relationship for us, and I think we're doing our job of driving attendees to the show floor and having these great discussions, and they're part of them at Shoptalk as well. So it's been great.
And so with those talks that are happening in the pavilion, can you kind of share some insight into who's been speaking and a little bit more detail on some of those topics?
Yeah, so we have so much fun having our members be part of the discussions. We've had executives from Build-A-Bear, from Ralph Lauren, from Ulta stopping by and having discussions. They're much more casual in nature, and it's really about all of the specific challenges that women are dealing with and, how we can help amplify women voices, not only at this trade show, but in the industry in general, right? And so hearing from all of these executive level leaders coming in and having those discussions in real time and just sort of very authentic and raw, that's where the magic happens for us.
Great. And in the wider conference, what's been the key takeaways for you?
Key takeaways, oh my gosh, so many. I mean, of course, everyone is talking about AI and the future of what that means. Not only how can you utilize it in your business right now, but what does it mean? What are the use cases in 6 months and a year from now, and how do you develop it? But AI is, of course, at the forefront of everyone's discussions. Seamless integration and looking at your customer data, from all points and all angles of how you're reaching them and how you can make a seamless integration is always on top of everybody's mind. And then I think, just navigating these sort of choppy economic waters, and leading your teams through that and kind of what that looks like for the rest of the year.
Well, listen, thank you so much for coming and sharing so much information about women in retail.
Absolutely.
Good luck with that. Good luck with the conference that you've got coming up. Sounds like a real task where you'll be staying. But for now, Jen DiPasquale, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So I'm now joined by Sophie Marchessou, the Chief Customer Officer at Mirakl. Sophie, thank you so much for joining us. I know this is all quite last minute, but I really appreciate you coming over to have a chat. I had the pleasure of speaking to your co-founder and co-CEO, Adrian Nissenbaum, on our Unicorn series a few years ago. I can't believe it's that long ago. So what I thought we could start with is maybe, first of all, as a reminder for our listeners, just give us a one-liner on Mirakl, but also what's been the update over those last few years for the business?
Sure, happy to, and thank you for having me. So Mirakl is a leading SaaS platform. Started out as a marketplace solution. We also have a dropship solution, and over time, we've innovated what we offer to our customer base, retailers, B2B companies, with other solutions, and I can talk about it around retail media, payout, but it's really a way for our customers to accelerate their platform economy.
Sure. Well, yeah, give us a little bit more information on how that works.
Sure. So platform economy is a way for, let's say, a retailer to bring on sellers and brands to sell on their platform, their online website, with a lot of flexibility, because you don't have to have the inventory carried in your warehouses, so you can constantly test new products, go deeper in a category without taking a lot of risks. It's a highly scalable model. And you have a lot of platform businesses around us that we use all the time, like Airbnb, Uber. It's the same idea, but applied to e-commerce essentially.
Great. And as I mentioned, it's a few years since I spoke to Adrian. So yeah, how's the business grown over that time?
So it's grown significantly. So we've been busy. We now have about 450 customers worldwide, and one way we measure our performance is the volume of transaction that transits through the Mirakl platform. And last year in 2023, we had about $9 billion of gross merchandise value, GMV, transact through the Mirakl platform from marketplace and dropship solutions. So it's very meaningful. So that's kept us active across B2C, B2B customers. And then we've also more recently launched a few new solutions catering to the needs of our clients. So one is a payout solution, simplifying the payment process for the sellers that sell on marketplaces. Another one is a company we've acquired called Target to Sell, which is a personalization recommendation engine. And then last but not least, we've launched a little over a year ago a retail media solution, which we call Mirakl Ads. So we've been busy, and then we've also announced that we're profitable in our core segment, so we've been busy from all angles.
Fantastic. Now we're here on Bread Financial's booth. We've been talking to a lot of our guests about kind of current trends at the moment with consumer shopping habits. What are the trends that you're seeing? Is the US consumer in particular, still spending more, not just on necessities, but maybe aspirational goods and things like that?
Yeah, I think 2023 was a rough year, even for e-commerce. You had those COVID boom, and then it plateaued a bit. But two things. One is we continue to see tremendous growth on marketplaces. Our year-over-year growth in last year was above 50%. And I think the reason is because in this more challenging market, you want to offer the consumers always the best price, available when they want it. And so retailers have to be nimble and constantly adopt their assortment to where consumers are willing to put their dollar spend. And so that's why I think marketplace was particularly relevant. 2023, I think, was definitely a cautious spending year for consumers, but I'm pretty optimistic about 2024. I think we do see that they splurge in some categories or some occasions. So it's really important for the retailer to have the flexibility to be nimble as they see those trends happen, and all of a sudden go deeper in a category or different price points that they see resonate. It's a consumer that's hard to predict, but we do see that consumer confidence is somewhat coming back, so it's important to have the right assortment when they need it to be available to catch those moments of spend.
Yeah, that's great. Good to hear. Now, another area that we've been focusing on is Gen AI. It comes up in almost every conversation we have. What's been the impact on your business, and how are you using it?
Yeah, very significant. I could probably use the rest of the time talking about all the use cases in our business. But I think a couple of ones worth calling out. One is, I think AI can be very powerful when it comes to making a more personalized, relevant customer experience on the front end. And so we see it with this company we bought, Target to Sell, having the right recommendation of products, or even when for a retail media solution, having the right sponsor product show up, really meeting the customer needs as opposed to a random product that doesn't make any sense to the customer. I think that's going to be even more relevant through AI and powered by AI. So that's one more front-end use case. And then another that's more back-end and maybe less sexy, but I think would resonate with a lot of retailers. We handle and we treat very large volumes of product data. We have all those sellers and brands that upload their catalog of products on marketplaces. And now it can just be so fast to enrich that content, that product description, to make sure it's the best description, it's very SEO friendly. Like all of that can be much faster and higher quality through AI. So all that data processing of product data, essentially. So
Great.
Here are my two.
So much to get your head around. It's incredible. Running out of time, just very quickly, I don't know if you can give me one, maybe two highlights from your time here at Shoptalk.
Sure. I think it's actually been a great addition. It's hard when I'm just looking at the hall here. I think it's hard to not see AI almost on every booth, to your point. Retail media, clearly very top of mind as well from all the stages conversations and the booth expos as well. But I would call out that I feel like the mood is more optimistic than it was in 2023, both in retailers willing to invest in top priorities, either the right ones, and consumers willing to go back to spending. So I'm optimistic for 2024.
Good to hear. Thank you so much for coming over. But for now, Sophie, Marchessou, appreciate you joining the podcast.
You're very welcome.
So joining me now is Emma McFerran, the CEO of Lyst. Emma, thank you so much for taking some time to chat. Should we start with just a quick intro to your business?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So Lyst is a premium fashion shopping app and website, premium and luxury. We partner with 17,000 of the world's luxury, premium and mass retailers. And we have a huge audience of 200 million fashion shoppers every year. And our job is to use data, technology and AI to provide those customers with an amazing personalized shopping experience on the platform, so they don't need to shop anywhere else, they just have to shop on Lyst. And to provide our retailer partners with amazing audiences and customers who are going to love and connect with their brands.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the AI part there, because that's one of the key things I wanted to talk to you about. It's something that we've been chatting to a lot of our guests here. How do you go about using AI and machine learning at Lyst?
So one of the core ways we're using AI is to accelerate the rate of personalization and the quality of personalization we can provide to customers. So we have 10 million in-stock products on the platform, so that's a lot of fashion items for a fashion shopper to navigate. But we sit on this extraordinary wealth of customer behavioral insight. So what products are customers interacting with? What colors are they selecting? What are they wish listing? All sorts of things. And our job is to take those insights and work out how to make the experience really personal, really unique to that individual customer. But it's actually quite hard to infer personal style taste in language alone. So we've been using AI to drive image to text recognition so that we can scan, the machines can learn through all of our product catalog, understand the imagery, understand the text descriptors, and then infer style characteristics of style taste for those individual customers. And then that makes us elevate the whole experience for them. Another way that we're doing it is through color. So you might find an item on Lyst is sold from a number of different retailers, but there isn't sort of homogeneous data quality across all of those products. So for example, the color descriptors might be different. And we can use computer vision to read the images to say, okay, this is a consistent color across all of these different products. It's actually the same product. Makes it easier for the customer to find the thing that they want.
Fascinating stuff, it really is. On the topic of AI, you actually spoke on a session about that yesterday. So just listening to all those things that you're talking about that you're using it at the moment, what do you see as some of the more kind of longer term opportunities for its use?
I think what's really exciting in the long term is thinking how we could accelerate our mission to help our customers to make better fashion shopping decisions, help our partners find better audiences. And the ways that we could do that, there's so much creative opportunity in AI. We could totally reimagine the fashion shopping experience. It could look and feel entirely different to how it does today. So what excites me is the fact that we can take these technologies and we can apply new and creative use cases to them. But if we focus on what we're trying to do for customers, helping them to find and fall in love with fashion items among all of the noise and all of the fragmented landscape that exists, that we can take these technologies and find the most delightful and exciting ways to do that for them.
So just listening to you, with all the things that you're doing with data and AI and those trends, I mean, it would be great to understand how are you seeing customers' habits changing, and also how does that shape the way that you design that customer experience?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think there are two ways in which their habits are changing. The first is that customer, especially the younger, next generation luxury fashion shopper, is so well informed. They're not waiting to be told what to buy. They are really engaged in the research phase. They're archiving, they're hunting. They want a lot of information about their purchase, and we're able to provide that to them. The second way that their habits are changing is seeing so many micro trends bubble up quickly from social media, from all sorts of places, and then they bubble up quickly and they bubble down again. And we have this vast catalogue, as I mentioned before, 10 million products, and our ability to unlock the information in that catalogue quickly to provide that information to the customer in a way that's easy for them to digest and use to make that purchasing decision. We're going to be able to do that more and more quickly and more rapidly with AI technology.
How do you guys stay ahead of the curve with all these changing environments, technology, AI, customer habits? How do you manage that?
Yeah, it's so challenging because we are in uncharted territory, and the landscape is changing by the minute. So I don't think anyone is ahead of the curve, but I think for us it starts with company culture. We have a culture of ownership. We have a culture where everybody feels responsible for what we're doing. Everybody knows that they are responsible for working with different members of the teams with different skill sets and expertise. And so when we're facing problems, everybody is educating themselves on the landscape and challenging each other cross-team to think about how new applications might change the way they're thinking about things. So we stay lean, agile, we learn, we test a lot, we hold our assumptions kind of loosely, and we're open to changing and adapting as the circumstances around us change.
Well, that's great. Listen, Emma, it's been brilliant, and to hear everything about the business. But for now, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
So I'm now joined by Chris Clark, the co-founder and Chief Technology Officer of Grove Collaborative. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Should we start with a little bit about Grove? Tell us all about it.
Sure. So we started Grove about 10 years ago, and we are a CPG brand and retailer focused on sustainable, natural, non-toxic home care, personal care, and wellness products. And so from the formulation to the packaging, look to make these categories forces for human and environmental good.
So there's a few key essentials there in terms of the brands you're working with. How do you vet them?
So the brands that we work with vary a little bit by category, but fundamentally, we're a mission-driven organization. Our largest focus is really around removing plastic, and single-use plastic in particular, from the products that we sell. Some of these categories are really big offenders. You just have to walk down the grocery store aisle to see plastic just wall to wall, floor to ceiling in these categories. But in each category, the standards are a little bit different. The home care category has come a long way, and we take some of the credit for that, for dragging the industry along and trying to remove single-use plastic. In other categories, they're less far along. So as we talk to brands, we want to understand, are they fundamentally committed to the same mission? Do they care about sustainability? Are they going to make progress with us on the journey? And then, of course, we have ingredient standards by category, and look all the way upstream in the supply chain to try to understand how things are made. We believe in their labor practices. So the core focus is on sustainability, but we think there's a lot of wraparound values that make sense to double check and go along as well.
Sure. Excellent work that you're doing. You're speaking on a session later today about cultivating loyalty. So tell us about the points that you're looking to make.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, coming to a show like this at Shoptalk, where we're just surrounded by vendors with complex technology, and people are talking about personalization and AI and customer journey mapping and all this stuff. The angle I'm sort of taking to customer loyalty is that looking at a number of examples where Grove has tried technology, right? And I take full responsibility, I'm the Chief Technology Officer, that didn't quite work, right? Where we missed something fundamental about why customers love us and tried to jump to sort of a technology-based solution with perhaps without getting the fundamentals right, without having our pricing strategy well defined, without telling our story in a new category in a coherent way to our customer that's going to resonate with him or her. And so really focused on getting a little bit back to basics, and making sure that the core values of retail are the reasons that people want to buy from you and stick with you over time.
What about in terms of that customer experience at Grove? Are there any changes that you've been making to enhance that?
Yeah, I think if you've known Grove for a while, people come up and they say, "Oh, you're a membership sort of club-based thing or a subscription-based company," and that's our origin and where we came from over the last decade or so. But if a problem that we've been thinking about for a while and sort of circling on, we've really taken a lot of action on, is that the number of customers who love our mission, who love our products, are interested in our values, and are also willing to buy subscription, right? is a smaller group than the people who just love our customers, who love our products, love our values, love our mission. So how do we sort of expand the addressable market and bring ourselves to our customers in a way that's more accessible and more aligned with how they want to buy? So we've recently relaunched how we do customer acquisition to welcome more customers in and hope to really grow and expand and reach more people and deliver the mission.
One of the things that we've been asking a lot of our guests is the impact of Gen AI on their business.
Sure.
As Chief Technology Officer, Phil, I need to ask you that question.
Yeah.
How does that fit in within what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at sort of like small sort of point solutions, right? Yeah. We're using Gen AI to do things like, scan huge reams of content for interesting topics that we might want to use for SEO, or to ensure that claims being made from vendors about their products are being kept up to date as regulations are changing, right? Things that are difficult for human to do in a reasonable amount of time. Also to do some copywriting for us and things like that. I think that it's going to look really different in a year, pretty obviously.
Sure.
And so we're not jumping really quickly until, if you call into Grove or right into our customer service, you're getting a human every single time. We haven't sort of made a leap to try to automate a bunch of things. We don't think that's there yet. But I think it's inevitably coming at some point.
Interesting. And what about data? How are you using that to inform the decisions that you make as a business?
Yeah, I mean, it's a broad question, right? Data is sort of floats all around. I think that philosophically, the approach that we've taken is get every bit of data from everywhere in the company, stick it in one place, make it all joined together, make sure it's recent within 24 hours, document it, and then give everybody access to it. And that's sort of the approach that we've historically taken. So when you look at usage statistics around our business intelligence tools internally, about 2/3 of staff are using those tools on a daily basis, which I think is quite high for a company that has a really diverse number of roles, right? We're not a software-first company, but really have tried to democratize and allow everybody to answer the questions that they need to do their jobs on a day-to-day basis.
Great. Well, listen, good luck with your talk a little bit later on, but for now, Chris Clark, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. So I'm now joined by Arvind Gupta, the President and CEO of Jesta IS. Arvind, thanks so much for stopping by. Do you want to start by just telling us a little bit about the business?
Well, thanks for the invite. Yeah, Jesta IS is 54 years. We have been building and delivering solutions primarily for the brands across 3 main verticals. First is we help our brands, clients, partners to optimize their supply chain and do all the back-end stuff that requires from them to plan and then ultimately figure out what production partners they need to work with and bring the inventory back into global basis. That's the first pillar. Second is we help these brands when they take the product online, digital or whatever they may be, we help them figure out what's the optimal way to do that in the head office. That's the second pillar. So in other words, all the sexy stuff we see brands pull up online, all the back-end stuff that happens is what we enable.
You're doing all the hard work behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. Third thing is, we take this journey further, far closer to the customers in the store. So we enable frictionless, unified commerce experience in the store for our clients, our brands, and our brand partners in their physical store environment as well.
Can you just share some of the brands that you're working with?
Yeah, we work with a lot of brands, are apparel, footwear, sporting goods companies, including JD Sports, Genesco, which owns Johnston & Murphy, Journeys, Underground Station, Shoe, based out of UK. We have DSW, we have Perry Ellis, Puma. So many of these happen to be sporting goods, clothing, apparel, footwear companies.
Okay, and you mentioned unified commerce just then. Can you just explain a little bit more about that and how that impacts on the consumer's kind of experiential journey?
Yeah, unified commerce is more than just a buzzword. It effectively translates to, from the consumer's point of view, offering persistent, consistent, frictionless experience, whether they go online, whether they go in the store, whether they go on Instagram, it doesn't matter. But it goes more than that. So first side is the consumer, but the other side is these companies, these brands, within their own organizations, they have silos typically. It used to be. Those silos are coming down increasingly, but it's enabling those associates, Doesn't matter, associates are working in directly e-com, digital, or in store, or in head office, or in supply chain. Offering them the same persistent view of the customer journeys is effectively what entails the unified commerce.
Great. And I know you've got to shoot to another meeting. We've got to keep this interview short, but I've got one more question for you, and that's something that's coming up a lot in all our conversations here at Shoptalk is AI.
Yeah.
How's that impacting the work that you're doing?
Yeah, AI is quite frankly it's increasingly becoming more and more relevant. See, all the stuff that happens that enables quote-unquote personalization, this frictionless experience, regardless of the channel, it's the data behind that. So we are fortunate to have with these clients, these brands, reams and reams of data that we get access to, not only the transactions they did, but also products that they look up but never completed a sale. So we pull all the data back in, but what we do is we go a step further. We expose the same data, optimize the supply chain. Because remember, there's factories in Bangladesh, Vietnam, Cambodia, India. So those factories are working on certain, sometimes stale data. So we optimize all that to make sure just-in-time, agile flow of the goods as well as experience happens to the customers. But behind the scenes, it's the AI we believe will be the great enabler as we navigate in future.
Great. Well, thanks for explaining all that. But for now, Arvind, Gupta, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks once again to all our guests who joined us here on Bread Financial's booth at Shoptalk.
You can find us on all the usual social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with the show, you can do that via the contact form on our website.
But for now, from me, Russell Goldsmith and Graham Barrett, thanks for listening and watching, and goodbye.